Yo, what is going on? It's another drop tonight. We got a guest. Y'all already know what it's hitting for. Some block drops to throw in, just to sprinkle on top. Let's get it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the block. The Leon block, that is. I'm Jontel. Y'all already know what it is. I am joined by our guest and friend to the show, Remmy, back here with another chat.
What it do? What it do?
So we're going to see what we get into tonight. First thing off, we have some block drops for y'all asses. So the first thing going on, which I find very interesting, there's been protests in Mexico for a call for justice for the murders of women and transgender people in the community there. And it actually went through the streets of Mexico City Wednesday, carrying crosses bearing the names of murdered women and demanding strong government action to end femicides. Mexico's government reported that at least 762 women are murdered between January and September of this year alone. But a recent report by Amnesty International found the true toll is likely much higher, with more than 10 women and girls killed daily across Mexico. Meanwhile, trans women held a ceremony in Mexico City Tuesday, marking Mexico's national holiday, the Day of the Dead. And so trans activist Kenya Cuevas says, historically, transgender women have been invisibilized. Our families exclude us. In the Mexican altars of our families, there will never be a picture of us. This is why it is crucial to place this altar to vindicate the trans women who have died. Mexico has the second highest rate of reported murders of trans people after Brazil, and just ahead of the U.S.
And that actually adds in perfect for the segue to mention Trans Day of Remembrance. It's also November, I think it's November 21st.
I believe so.
So every year, there's a day that we acknowledge the count of trans women, even just in that given year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, some organizations actually list all the names of the people that we know of. There are people that passed away that we don't know, who they were, because they could have been a trans man, or it could have been a, unidentified person,
right.
So because they didn't want to carry their dead name on them. So it's just, and for those that don't know what a dead name is, it's the name that they went by, or they were given at birth, not the name that they actually preferred to use.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and people don't understand, even with heterosexual people, when you marry into a family, then the maiden name becomes, a dead name. So yeah, I think this is really, man, it's atrocious. I didn't actually know if they were number one though.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I would have thought the U.S. was number one.
Nah, Democracy Now tends to keep up on reporting about this situation in Mexico, so I'm very familiar with it. And femicides happen very, very routinely there, just like murders against gay men happen in Jamaica so frequently, and they get hung and lynched and stuff like that, and stoned a lot. Is equivalent to like what goes on in Brazil and Mexico with trans women.
Gotcha.
It's that bad.
Gotcha.
And they've been protesting all year specifically about this. I've been seeing. So there's definitely more to come about it. And I think that we're only going to see more protests intensify. That is. Whew. In immigration news, Biden responded to reports his administration was considering compensation of up to $450,000 per family separated at the U.S.-Mexico border under Trump's zero tolerance policy. Wow. Executive director of the ACLU, which is representing the affected families, said Biden's refusal to remedy the trauma and other psychological harm caused by family separation would be an abandonment of a core campaign promise. I will say real quick before you have any thoughts is that Biden has done a shit show job of doing anything when it comes to immigration. He's probably done worse than what Trump did. And I literally just want to stab a fork in his neck and say, what the fuck are you doing? Seriously, Biden?
God.
Like, I'm more upset at him than I was at Trump for this specific topic. That's my two-piece. Give me yours. Two-piece chicken wing with a side of fucking mashed potatoes.
Hey, listen, man. I don't know if I can come behind it. I don't think I... you have said it and dropped the mic. I can't even pick it up. It's so hot. You hear me? Oh, wow. Since we're into political news, let's switch gears to the vice
Go ahead.
president.
Okay.
So let's go back to the insurrection. I did a little research there for a couple.
I almost forgot that the vice president. We have a vice president. Who's that? Who's he? Oh, I forgot. It's a woman.
Listen.
I forgot.
Listen. The tea is hot in the White House. Cause listen, the insurrection.
Right.
Now she was just the vice president elect. She wasn't, she was up for the job. But my thing is, they thought that she was with the other cabinet members and Pence at the time of the insurrection. No, she was there that morning, but the bitch disappeared when the insurrection happened, and then she was seen back in the White House after it was all said and done. So where was my bitch at? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that's your bitch?
Listen.
For real? That's your bitch? You fuck with her like that?
Listen.
Give me the scoop. What's the tea? Where was she?
Right. That's the big question. This should have been investigated.
Right.
Where were you, bitch?
I love.
Did you know about it before it happened? Did it put you in position to be able to claim the role?
It's
of
not
vice
even.
president?
It's not even that. My thing is, you big coward.
Ooh.
That's what I'm thinking.
Ooh.
Not that she had any involvement, but she took her hubby and was like, "We getting the fuck out of town. We getting the fuck out of DC. Let's go.
Listen.
Woo-hoo! Time to go. Let's wrap this up. Boom, boom, bang.
Listen, but your boy wasn't there either. The one that's stirring up the shit.
Trump?
Yes. He wasn't there.
He was in DC,
but
he was hiding in the bunker.
But he wasn't there.
Oh, but we knew he was gonna bitch up. That's his formula. He was not gonna be up in the trenches.
So you started plotting there, Ron.
That's him. That's Trump.
It's like folks having fireworks. And they throw that shit in the street, and they got that long, that little long lighter, that shit and run.
Yep. He can't handle the heat. You see how pink he get? He can't handle no heat. He'll turn into a lobster.
I haven't seen how pink he get. The motherfucker was orange.
No, he pink and orange. In other news, the world's most polluting nations spend twice as much on border militarization than climate crisis. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because remember, there was more coverage of Bezos going to the fucking space than there was of climate change throughout the whole year in one day. So I'm not surprised. A new report from the Transnational Institute finds that some of the world's most polluting countries have spent over twice as much on border enforcement than on combating the climate crisis. The worst offenders are, ready for this?
I know U.S. is the one of them.
Canada, the U.S., Australia, and the U.K. Additionally, the world's largest fossil fuel companies are employing the same companies that receive government contracts to militarize their borders. Not surprising. Activist Kumi Naidu responded, "It's unacceptable that rich countries are building a climate wall and spending more on arming their borders than on tackling the root causes that drive climate-linked displacement." Only one black juror selected as trial for killers of Ahmaud Arbery's gets underway.
Ain't that a blip?
Ain't that a motherfucking bitch?
You're supposed to have people in there that represent the person that's on trial. I mean, the person that's was it defendant?
Well, if you look, I've been keeping up with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial as well, which I have to provide you story with as well. That's a whole shit show too. So this is looking to be a trend, as we can see. In Georgia, the judge overseeing the murder trial of the 3 white men who hunted down and killed black jogger Ahmaud Arbery last year found intentional discrimination in the jury selection after a single black juror was chosen. The 11 jurors are white. The judge, nonetheless, is allowing the trial to go ahead with opening statements expected tomorrow. Ain't this a motherfucking bitch?
Of course. You know, I mean, they could have picked a Latino, an Asian, somebody of color. You got 11 whites.
Nope.
Society does that, though. Society does that on commercials, on movies. You see one token in the damn movie or on the
Kenosha trial for Kyle Rittenhouse. They didn't disclose the races of the jurors. They just disclosed the genders of the jurors, which doesn't tell me shit at all. But given the demographics of Kenosha,
sounds like
Kenosha does have a good pocket of black and brown.
Well, Lancaster kind of got a good pocket of black and brown too.
Right. You get my drift here then. Okay. All right. There we go. So New York City taxi drivers win historic victory as city agrees to new debt relief measures. That's great. That is great for our labor workers and union workers. This is fucking awesome. Is that from me or you?
You.
Me? Really?
I don't have my stuff on.
Oh. So, I did want to get your opinion on this. We can get into this. You ready for this?
I am.
New study shows white people don't like living near black people. Your face, though.
I'm waiting on the rest.
So it's an article from the perspective of somebody, right? And I want to know what you think. So it turns out the sociologists studying white flight, which y'all know what white flight is, the tendency of white people to abandon neighborhoods once minorities moved in, have always held that the phenomenon of white flight wasn't just about whites wanting to live in neighborhoods where people buy sweaters for their dogs and put their children on leashes. Previous research concluded that white flight was the result of 3 factors. People of color were poorer, white people didn't like cities, and white people weren't racist, they were just practical. For much of American history, a growth in minority population signaled a decline in the neighborhood's socioeconomic status. Therefore, previous studies hypothesized that white people weren't necessarily fleeing people of color, they were simply moving to better middle-class neighborhoods, which is partly true.
So let's go into that.
All right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, for example, as you guys know, I'm actually from St. Louis, Missouri, and the actual downtown area started out as mostly white, right? So over time, the whites moved out and the black people, took over downtown, as a race or whatever.
Yes.
And then after that, of course, downtown kind of, lost its zeal.
Well, that's when that was when white people doing white flight and they moved out to the suburbs, all the money left. So yes.
So now white people are trying to move back into the city.
Gentrifying, bringing all the money.
There we go. And then
moving people around,
buying people out for the little of nothing. And you think, well, because black people are dumb, they don't know that you're trying to buy their $100,000 house for $20,000. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it now.
So on the flip side, I feel like there's conditions. If a white person wants to live by a person of color or black people, then there's a condition. Where do they work? Are they nice? Do they sound like me?
Right.
Are they really off black because they're not sagging in their pants or wearing tall tees or golds in their mouth or slinging dope or riding around in Monte Carlos?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? With the tinted windows.
Right.
Oh, well, maybe they're off black. They can live with us. They can be in our community.
But the ones that firing off fireworks is too much. We need to label them as criminals and get them the fuck out of our hood. I'm sick of it. Yes, I'm talking about Southwest Lancaster community group on Facebook. Talking about you.
It's I don't know. It's really, really bad. Just that. And some people will say that it's not a system. What the fuck you mean it's not a system? It's all a system. You live in a binary that you're so ignorant that you don't even know that you're a part of. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it really burns me up. It really, really does.
Hold on, somebody just sent me a really touching message.
Oh my goodness. Now you gotta read it.
You want me to read it?
Well, you're on the air.
Yeah, that's okay. She just listened to my last episode. It's my boss from the farm. She just listened to my episode last night, and I shouted them out and tied everything together. And she was just really happy. Just really expressing how proud she is of me, and for me to keep being me. And I've been getting a lot of quartz from the farmland. Lancaster County has a big abundance, side note, of quartz.
Can I get my piece? Because you had a lot.
I sure can. There's a lot. Like this is one of the pieces. Look at that, how clean that is. Like I still want to polish it some, but it's still really good. So I spoke of Soul Fire Farm last night, and black veganism and everything, and she listened to that episode, and she's gonna share some links with me so that I can check out some more stuff to share with y'all and talk about sustainable living and eliminating the issue of food deserts, particularly for BIPOC individuals, particularly here in Lancaster. Shout out to Guard and Garden once again. And I will definitely
see, this is what I'm talking about right here, y'all. He's trying to multitask.
I'm always
forgot he was talking.
No, I'm always multitasking.
I had my mouth wide open, ready for the rest of it.
Oh yeah, I always have people waiting on my every word. Oops, I'm sorry for that. Anyway, so
there you go.
The white population in urban areas has been declining for years. Most forays into this subject reason that white flight was the result of white urban exodus into suburbia and the preference of blacks and Hispanics to live in cities. The fuck? They weren't, because first of all, we necessarily don't want to live in cities. We're regulated to live there because of redlining, because of money issues and discrimination and laws and yada 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 yada
and
yada.
Percentage of us here. First of all,
right, you tend to be around who you're comfortable with.
No. Hold on, listen to this. It's only 17% of African Americans that live in the U.S.
Right.
Now, with that, people don't think they're not that smart. They know it's a small percentage of people of color in Lancaster County. Oh, let's group them all into this little pocket. Mm-hmm. They know. Mm-hmm. They know who's here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to contain people of color and then spread all out in the counties.
You got that right. You got that right. White people weren't racist, they were just practical. They weren't running for minorities, they just liked neighborhoods with good schools and low crime. Oftentimes, minorities reverse gentrified neighborhoods because Whites move to the suburbs to get away from urban thugs and schools with no golf teams. If that ain't a motherfucking bitch. Oh my goodness. Wowza. Okay, so surprisingly, the places with the most white flight were scattered across the country. But here's some, just to name a few: LA County, Prince George's County in Maryland, which is outside of DC, Gwinnett County, Georgia, Middlesex County, New Jersey, Montgomery County, Maryland, Fairfax County, Virginia, Miami-Dade County, Florida, Dallas County, Cook County, Illinois, Prince William County, Virginia, San Diego County, Orange County, California, Alameda County, California. It makes perfect sense. Even though gentrification is one of the favorite sports of white America, research shows that for some reason colonizers don't like their neighborhoods being colonized. And it has nothing to do with crime, poverty, schools, or socioeconomics. They just don't like having or living around people of color. The data shows it.
Speaking of, pause. Remember I told you about even Atkinson County having a small pocket people of color? Think of the state of Missouri.
Okay.
Look at the whole state as a whole. If you look on the presidential map, the presidential race map, there was one light blue speck. Guess what it was?
The city.
St. Louis.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds about right.
Right between St. Louis and Kansas City. A little light blue speck, but the rest of the state is a red state. But where are people of color?
All in the city. That's the same thing for Pennsylvania for the most part. All the cities in Pennsylvania are regulated to blacks, Latinos, BIPOC in general. And then after that, you know, you're stuck with what you're stuck with.
Just like Philadelphia, where the most of the people of color in the city.
Right. Do y'all remember this guy? So the autopsy described for the Associated Press by a person who was not authorized to discuss the federal investigation and who spoke on the condition of the anonymity refocuses the investigation on the troopers involved while rejecting the claim by state police that Green's car crash led to his fatal injury. Woo! He was pronounced dead at a hospital after paramedics, Ronald Green, by the way, who responded to the scene on May 10, 2019, found him unresponsive. His family initially was told that he died in the car accident. They have since filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Officer Warren body camera video of the incident made public by Associated Press last May showed Green apparently pleading for his life as he was taken into custody after the crash. And that video is very disturbing and hard to watch. It's one of the most horrible videos I've ever seen, and I could not finish watching it. I could not finish watching it. Hearing him begging and pleading for his life and the things that they were saying and doing, it was horrible. The George Floyd and the Philando Castile videos and the Adam Toledo videos have nothing on this video. The video captures Green telling Louisiana state troopers, "I'm sorry and I'm scared," as he was violently arrested after failing to stop for a traffic violation. Thank you to Philadelphia for banning. Police cannot stop people in cars for low-level traffic violations anymore. They cannot do it because they're trying to mitigate having racist police in touch with black civilians as much as possible now.
Good.
They're the first major city in the U.S. to do so.
All of them.
So shout out to Philly. But He was violently arrested after failing to stop for a fucking traffic violation.
He was alive after the car accident. Okay.
Right. He was tased with a stun gun and while still in his car, and then he was punched in the face. Green's family, and that's not all. Green's family and attorneys had earlier viewed the video, as did the Louisiana governor, whose office said in a statement last May that he found it to be disturbing, but that state police had agreed with requests from the U.S. attorney and district attorney not to officially release it unless approved at the conclusion of their investigations.
The fuck ever. So you telling me you would hold back evidence for a case because it has to be approved by somebody, and this man is brutally murdered, and he was a person of color.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The issue would be, did he die from injuries sustained in the accident? He said, according to the Associated Press, obviously he didn't die in the accident itself because he was still alive when the troopers were engaging with him. But what was the cause of death? I don't know. That was falsely portrayed. John Bolton, the district attorney for Louisiana's 3rd Judicial District, said that on the day he received a report on Green's death from the state police, he asked the U.S. Department of Justice to conduct an independent review of the circumstances surrounding his death, including whether any criminal or civil rights violations occurred. His office did not comment on the newly revealed autopsy findings. To date, the federal investigation is ongoing. Ethically, they're prevented from making any extrajudicial comments while this matter is under investigation. But Lou Merritt, who's the attorney for Green's family, said the video's release had reinforced their call for justice. This is a malicious act on the side of the road on a fully surrendered man, said Merritt upon the video's release. He was perfectly fine when a car came to a stop. He wasn't apparently injured at all. It's obvious from these videos he was brutalized and tortured for about 15 minutes. No one has been charged in connection with Green's death. One of the troopers involved, Chris Hollingsworth, died last fall in a car crash. State Police spokesman Lieutenant Melissa Mady previously confirmed to People another, Corey York, was suspended after Green's death but has since been restored to active duty. Louisiana State Police had criticized the video's release. The agency is confident in the judicial system and fair review of this incident and continues to offer our full cooperation, it said in a statement. Unauthorized release of evidence undermines the investigative process and compromises the fair and impartial outcome for the Green family. Blah, 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 blah. Exactly. You can hear Green saying in the video, "I'm your brother. I'm scared. I'm scared." And they repeatedly jolt him with a stun gun, even as he remains inside of the vehicle. The 46-minute clip shows one trooper wrestling Green to the ground, putting him in a chokehold and punching him in the face, while another can be heard calling him a stupid motherfucker. Furthering describing the video, the outlet reports Green wails, "I'm sorry," as another trooper delivers another stun gun shot to the backside and warns, "Look, you're going to get it again if you don't put your fucking hands behind your back." Another trooper can be seen briefly dragging the man face down after his legs had been shackled and his hands cuffed behind him. Green was then left face down for more than 9 minutes while officers cleaned blood from their hands and faces using sanitary wipes. "I hope this guy don't got fucking AIDS," one of the troopers is overheard saying on the video.
Wow.
Renee Smith, the Union Parish coroner, said Green's death was initially ruled accidental and was attributed to cardiac arrest.
That's a homicide.
Cardiac motherfucking arrest? You gotta be kidding me.
Right.
In addition to the restraint and the blows to Green's head,
all that blood on him.
The new autopsy report cites cocaine in Green's system as a factor in his death, but it specifically removes the crash as agitated delirium as factors cited in Green's original autopsy. It also concludes that Green's fractured breastbone and ruptured aorta likely resulted from CPR and other efforts undertaken by first responders rather than his vehicle low-speed crash. According to an incident report, Green was being pushed by police just after midnight for an unspecified traffic violation, but refused to pull over his car before crashing into a tree. So it appears that the tree did not cause any of the issues that led to his death. It was the beating. It was clearly the beating and the stun gun that he suffered that led to his death, as we had all suspected all along.
But they didn't say that in the autopsy report.
No, but there was two different ones filed. The one by you always eating them things. The one by the county, and then the one by the independent one. So I'm glad that they did the independent one. It's always great for. Oh, you're so kind. The it's always great that families do an independent autopsy as well because it usually always conflicts with what they're saying. And I guess it's snack time because he over here eating some animal crackers while I'm talking my ear off about this article.
And you eating a
So what you?
toasted marshmallow.
But I can eat and talk. So what you got to say about this?
What I got to say about it? That's some bullshit. I feel like I guess they forgot they had body cams on, or they just didn't give a damn. And when you get to a point where you don't give a damn and you just viciously murder somebody, that's what concerns me.
Right.
You don't care who see it, but you're gonna do it as if you have an audience.
Yes.
That's vicious.
That's vicious. No, you're right. You're so right.
And you need to be taken off the police department and need to be put in for psych eval. Both of y'all.
I know that's right. All right. So that's enough for the block drop tonight. We're going to get into some conversation and talk. But make sure you are subscribing to the Leon Block. Make sure you are following all of our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Make sure you're sharing with your friends, okay? Because we love y'all. We're going to be right back after this break. Hey, we are back, y'all. We are back. We done with the block drops. We're gonna get into some just general discussion. I don't know what you want to talk about, little homie.
Well, let's talk about this. I had to jump in here and say that. I'm gonna front you out a little bit. This dude right here, y'all. This dude right here really love y'all. He trying to put. Listen, he trying to be this little mini DJ, y'all.
What? What you say?
I think you want a little mini DJ.
I am. I have to. This is what I'm doing here. It's basically being a DJ.
Did y'all catch that slick fade, y'all? You know Listen, he is trying to make this thing real live, loud, and
yes, for real. Yes, I have to keep it live, keep it entertaining. For real, we got to. But I just it's a one man show right now. Like I have help sometimes, but it's just basically me. So I really got to make sure that I do things that are entertaining, but that I can keep up with it. So I have my little rhyme to my rhythm. Yes, but it doesn't mean don't fuck up sometimes. I just gotta make sure I keep it entertaining. That's all.
All right. Now, since we having a conversation, we're gonna have a conversation,
Yeah.
right? Be a conversation. Now, you might not like me for this question, but I need you to answer. I need you to answer authentically yet. I mean, you can use some code because I'm gonna ask you something kind of personal, on this platform. But so tell me now, like y'all just don't know. This is a personal question when I'm about to ask, but it's gonna be personal between he and I.
Y'all
but
know
I
how
want
many
him
personal
to
stuff I done brought out on
listen,
this
listen. My question
Bring it.
is, why didn't you bring your ass to Pride? Listen, y'all. Do y'all hear anything? Did y'all hear the balls drop? Yeah.
Well, shit. I wasn't prepared for that question.
Yes. Let's talk about it. Now, you don't have to be like.
You give me a simple question, I'm gonna give you a loaded motherfucker.
All right, let's get it.
How about that?
Take you a while to clear your throat.
So, you really want to know?
Absolutely.
All right, there's a couple reasons. The biggest one, I didn't feel like going. Like, socially, mentally, I was just tired that day. I didn't want to be around tons of fucking people. My anxiety was already high that day. And then to have to worry about seeing people that I didn't want to see and knowing not to put myself in environments around people that have abused you go through a year's worth of therapy. You know what to do and what not to do, regardless of what people suggest. Because I can say this person done all this to me, and you can say, well, that person's very nice when I'm around them. It doesn't mean that they were this way, that they weren't this way to me. They were. So for me, it was about not putting myself in environments that I need not put myself in. When there's tons of other events that I can go to and you and I can go to together.
No, hey, you try to be
also
slick. No, whoa. I just want to say, I'm going to say something later, but you try to be slick and slide me in there. I wasn't trying. I can go later, right? Keep going. But I know I have. Go ahead.
That's part of your thing. You want to join, so like it meant something to you. I get that.
No.
But I also have to put myself first.
You do.
I have to put myself first, and for me, that was a day that like I just did not want to be there. Not just because of what the event was, because I definitely like the support, but socially, just being at a social event that day, I just wasn't with it. And then besides you, none of my other friends were there to like just go around with me. Like, I know you were doing your own thing. Anyway, another thing is,
he's trying to layer it, y'all. Come on.
I told you it was multi-layered.
I'm still gonna hit you on my shit. Go ahead, let you get it out. Let you try to build.
Nope, I'm done. I had enough. Give your rebuttal. Give me your rebuttal.
Why you know? I don't want to cut you off.
No, because I want your rebuttal. You go right ahead. Give me the tea. What's up? What would you want to say?
So this is how I see it, right? So we as finite beings take on energy, and with that energy, it can distort our physical manifestation of our very self.
Talk about it.
So what I'm saying is that because you felt some type of way about the day and the event and everything that was going on, you subconsciously could have felt like, well, damn, I don't feel like going. I need layered reasons
that is possible.
Why I don't want to come to this event. Now,
that is possible.
Now, to be honest with you guys,
but that wasn't the case.
But to be honest with you guys, I asked this question off the air, so it's not nothing that he hasn't heard. He just wasn't prepared for me to ask it now. So,
well, let me interject real quick, because from the time that we had talked about it in the car that day to the day, I had went back and forth, like, am I gonna go? Am I not gonna go? And I asked other people, like, do you want to go? And like a couple other people were like, I might. And then someone else, like, we were gonna go together. And then like last minute, we just both were feeling the funk that day. And it was for me personally, and I'm learning to give grace to myself. If I'm just not feeling something, I just don't have to give an excuse, because I'm always used to making up excuses to justify why I have to say no to somebody, because I hate saying no to people. But it was one of those things like, fuck that shit, I'm not doing it today.
Excuse me. And I just want to say one more thing. Excuse me. I acknowledge everything that you just said.
Yes.
About you're not feeling like it, and you're not just overall, just the whole day. You know what I mean? I get it. I promise I do.
And I'm not saying I won't be there next year. You know.
Now, what I am saying is also is that I feel like some confrontation is healthy for our healing. Now, when I say that, I mean, we can put in ourselves, for example, now let's talk about this. Let's be transparent. So I used to work for an industry that dealt with stocks, bonds, mutual funds, everything like that. And I was one of the processors in the back office. Now, I felt like there was this boss. She wasn't on our team, but it was almost two bosses that had two teams that do the same shit. So she was on this team, but she would always have something smart to say to me, and I don't know what it was. I know the other boss liked me and liked my work. So sometimes there's a antagonistic thing about you ain't better than my people, but I was, bitch,
Yeah.
So there's just something nitpicky about what I had to say. And I literally, it was one last day I walked up in that place and I was walking and I could hear my steps going down the hall. And I said, you know what? This bitch say one thing cross me, I'm letting her fucking have it.
I know that's right.
And sometimes we get that boldness in ourselves and our spirit, then the world can't do shit. Do you hear me? So my thing is, with that being said, pulling it back in is that, dude, like, that was healing for me. That was healing for me not to take crap off of anybody. You know what I'm saying? And that was just one step. So some people think that they are in our lives to antagonize us. But bitch, what don't break you down make you motherfucking stronger.
I know that's
you feel what I'm saying? So in all that, I'm saying, listen, don't let nobody stop you from having a good time. Don't let nobody stop you from living. Don't let nobody stop you from hanging out with your homie.
See, that's what
asked you to go.
This is the misconception that people are having. That is not fun for me. So staying home and not going to that is fun. And you get what I'm saying? That's not my environment. That is more like pulling teeth for me.
Why?
Because I don't like being around all those people and all that shit. Like it takes a lot for me to prep myself up and psych myself up to do that.
So did you know
so it's just not.
Did you know Pride was coming?
Yes, I knew about it. I know it's in October every year.
No, it's not in June, isn't it?
No, it's always in October at Clipper Stadium.
Oh, I didn't know that shit.
Yes, I've always known, and I don't give a fuck about it. I like it's never anything. Now, do I go to New York Pride and Philly Pride every year? Yes, but I've gotten used to going there. I love the feeling of it, the vibe of it, and it's different.
So that
now
to
hold on. I want to jump back to something real quick because you said like don't let nobody take your happiness and this, that, and the third. The choices that I made was doing exactly that, and people are getting confused, thinking that what they want and protruding their opinions and thoughts on what they think I should do is what they think is actually happy or freeing or this, that, and the third. Like me doing things the way that I've been doing them is what's been freeing for me, is what's liberating me, is what's making me happy, it's what's bringing me peace. Now do you follow me? If I was going to that, it would completely shatter all that.
Gotcha.
I've been going through this for like a year, and I'm finally at the point where like I can say no to people without any explanation and not care how they're going to take it. But you deserve the explanation. But there's other people that it's just like, I don't care how they're going to take this, but they're probably going to take it like I'm being a coward or I'm not facing fears or anything like that. Like, no, that doesn't deserve my time but this deserves all of my time and attention. This deserves all of my time and attention. And you seeing how much it has grown and how much opportunities and things have been coming my way. It's because all of the determination and passion and aggression that I had has been going towards it, and it was needed. And those are things that have been sent to me. I could have very well put them in a different direction, but it wouldn't have gotten me anywhere. I'd be where I was, not where I am now.
So that's the point right there, right? So let's do this. So we don't talk about super deep stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So to say what you just said was very profound, because you said you're not where you was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my comment would have been for where you was, but enlightening today of where you are, that's a big difference.
Right.
So I apologize for not hitting that, but I was thinking
because there's a couple of friends that have been in the same kind of like mindset with me about like how you're talking, and I just haven't set them straight. And I'm now at the point where like I'm working on saying no. So I'm working on setting people straight and not caring if they're like, oh, he's being a bitch. No, I'm not being a bitch. I'm just telling you my exact feelings and what it is, and like not letting you think whatever for yourself, like, because you deserve to know I value you and I don't want you to get the wrong idea of something. But everyone doesn't deserve that. And I'm learning to discern. Now, you done brought it up to me a couple times for me to be like, look, bitch, no, I'm not going. But I love and support what you do and what you're doing, and your part in having a role in something. That part, because
are you saying that I said that to you?
I'm saying this to you.
Oh yeah,
because I have my bone to pick, but that's another episode and podcast that I will discuss with other LGBTQ plus members. Now, with you personally, I will say that I love and respect the things that you do. And so it would have been nice to go with you. And I'm not saying I won't go next year. Maybe I'll go with you next year. Who knows? Who motherfucking knows? Now let's get it. What's the next motherfucking topic, Negro? What it is. Talk to me.
I mean, go ahead and pick one. I threw two in.
I come up with topics every motherfucking night. I need my guests to bring that. Right. My guests should be bringing that. Right. Thank you.
So let's see. What's hot and on the table. So let's talk about something. Let's. I know. I don't want this to seem like a political day.
Oh no!
But
it always is.
What's going on with this president? Let's even talk about the previous stuff. So if I remember,
let's talk about it.
I remember back in the day that this president was a Republican and fought for Republicans and hated the indigenous and hated the people of color and hated democracy. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden now he's a Democratic president. What is that what you say you are, so you can get in?
I don't like him. I never liked him.
I don't understand.
I agree. Like, he was a mean ass.
I mean, he was. I don't even know if he was the best of two evils. Now that's the thing right there.
Talk about it.
I don't, and I also don't know if he was the best candidate for the Democratic Party. So I'm just telling like it is. I don't know what that is. I don't know. It's just. I mean, that really has been in limelight. And my thing is, somebody might need to do another medical check. Because I hear that there may be some,
some shit going on with him.
No, I mean, medically, losing it, mentally.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised.
So, I mean, he is what, 77? I mean, I feel like, speaking of, and I feel like the cap should be, like we said before, 60. If you're 60 years old, that is the cap for running for president of the United States of America. We need somebody that's agile, healthy, and able to run for tax. If you see every president except for Trump If you see every other president, when they were in office,
Agreed.
their hair grayed up.
Mhm.
They were almost a full head of hair,
Facts.
gray or bald head,
Facts.
when they came out of office. And it's
Facts.
because of all the stress, all the turmoil on the human body, the mind, whatever. So my thing is, if you get out when you're 68 years old, saying that you actually make it 2 terms, that's old enough for retirement.
Yep.
Go sit your tail down.
Yo,
So I
for
feel like
real.
the cap should be 60 years old. What do you think?
I completely agree. Before you retire, get you a little ready and comfortable for retirement if we gonna have that any longer. Social
Exactly.
Security about to end.
Oh, they're gonna pay the president. They're gonna find somebody to pay the president. They had to rob Peter, Paul, and Jack. You hear me? Listen, they're gonna find somebody to pay the ex-president.
I'm done.
I love when conversations kind of segue into other stuff. I think sometimes we just have stuff all bottled up, and it's just like just need that platform, that opportunity to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it.
that's how it's supposed to be. I like stuff to just flow and one segue into another. Speaking of, what's the next one?
Here you go. Here you go. That sounds like co-host duties. Y'all hear me?
What?
What he doing?
What?
He doing, y'all? He just
Because
doing
I
all
done
the
talked
topics.
myself out. I told you, bring the jams.
Listen, you had opportunity to read.
Look
That's
here,
what
nigga.
you doing. You want to talk
We got
to us,
you.
read.
Give me some. Look, I gave you block drops. I always bring the topics. This is what it's my guest's duty to always bring the information
Not dude.
when they come, because I'm always here with the information, and sometimes I just want to relax and give opinions.
Right. He said he want to relax and give opinions, guys. So if you're ever on the live with us, definitely drop your topics that you want us to talk about.
Yes.
Also, even if you aren't on live with us, if
Yes.
you get this, go ahead and drop in a topic. We definitely read the comments. I even go back and read the comments, even though you officially made me the co-host. I go back and look at the comments too, and we can talk about those things. So this is our channel, not just y'all, not just his.
Thank you. Thank you. What he said is actually true. And you can comment, you can message, you can post on to the Leon Block Facebook page anytime and just give your opinion or drop some info or let us know what you think we should talk about as far as topics. We're always down. We're always down for that. So do not hesitate. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the YouTube channel, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, the whole 9. Hey, what do you know? I finished it.
Look at you, about to fall out. Boom. You have a 6-pack. You said that one left. You
Nope,
might
just
said
that one.
I knew it. That's just like
I'm
a
a
black
man.
person. They only got one bottle or something on the last little bit
Yep.
in the corner.
Look, it was donated. I ain't even buy the shit. I ain't even buy it.
Listen, we accept donations.
For real.
That was a good donation.
And it'll last me a while because I'm not the drinker.
Mm-hmm. Trying to find that story I want to talk about real quick.
Which one?
Let's see. This beat is pretty hot though.
Appreciate it. I get my shits from noneofyourbusiness.com. Really good site.
You
Find
an
all the
asshole.
latest beats.
Hey y'all, did y'all hear that? He's an asshole.
Oh, but you love me.
Did y'all hear- I'm just looking like I know he did. I know he did.
Yo, gotta keep it tight. Gotta keep it tight.
Right.
For real.
All y'all gotta do is look, take that shit and put that shit up to Shazam and it'll tell you where it came from.
No, it ain't, cause they ain't. They're not copyrighted beats, my nigga. That's why I said noneofyourbusiness.com. You ain't gonna know. You ain't gonna find out. You can try all you want.
Oh my goodness.
I just want to thank y'all for following, tuning in, listening in, and joining us. Because, I mean, y'all could be doing something else on this Thursday night, but y'all chilling with us. Yo, shout out to my little brother. It's his 22nd birthday today.
All right.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Day Moore. As he got like less than 2 hours left. I hope you enjoying that shit. I don't know what you was doing. I don't think he drinks, so
Listen to
I
him.
gotta be at the bar or nothing. But
Listen, you scared the shit out of me. To about less than 2 hours left. I'm like, you need to be there. What you doing?
oh, he's 2 hours away. He's in Wilkes-Barre. So what the hell was you trying to find? I mean, we can go back to talking about India Ari real quick.
Yeah.
Yo,
What? You started. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't. That's all I had to say. Was India Ari, like that was my jam. So when he came in, we was jamming out. I was jamming out to some India Ari. He's like, "What you know about that?" I'm like, "What the fuck you know about that shit?" Like I grew up listening to that shit because my mom was listening to it all the time, chilling in the house.
How old
like,
is your
making
mama?
money.
Let's talk about this.
All right, so my mom had me when she was 17, and I believe she's 50. I'm 32. I believe my mom's 50. Yeah, because at the cookout this year, at my grandfather's passing, we had
She almost 50.
She's 50.
32 and 17.
Her birthday's in July.
But 7 and 2 is what?
I don't know. I don't
9.
do math.
7 and 2 are 9. 3 and 1 is 4. So it's 49. I said almost 50.
Okay, well, whatever. Same thing. Shit. But I always fuck with India. That's my shit.
Yeah, I love. So speaking of India, my favorite song for the longest was Video, and I think it's really because her first album really spoke to. I know she was singing to the woman, but she was singing to me too.
Right.
You know what I mean? She was singing positivity. She was singing love yourself. Fuck the world, do you? And literally, with me coming into loving myself more, that song brought me through. Y'all hear me? People of color, especially who are LGBT, in the closet, trying to figure a way out. Listen, there are some awesome artists out there, and India was that one for me. And there are some for others. It might be Elton John. It may be John Smith. It may be, a plethora of people. It may be some of the rappers, that are okay and living and swagging in their own skin. So definitely, if you guys need somebody just to listen to or hear their truth, look for some artists out there. You know what I mean? Some people don't like going to the Bible. Some people don't like meditating. Find an artist that's gonna speak to your soul.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Talk about it.
For real. That was good though. Yeah, definitely.
It's nothing like some music with some spiritual healing.
Mm-hmm.
Music that speaks to your soul.
Right.
Not somebody else's, but your soul.
Right. So yeah. Now I typically this is my genre, and y'all may laugh at me. My genre is the artist who without a shadow of a doubt smoking shit when they singing they shit.
Snoop.
He was. I can listen to some Snoop.
That's my nigga.
Snoop. Listen, India. Let's see. Here you go. Jill Scott, Erykah Badu.
They my homies, yo. They is my homies.
Some of them guys too. Maxwell probably smoking on one. Let's see who else.
Talk about it.
It's some people of color. They might not look like it, but look at them. Listen to them.
Yeah.
You can hear they dragging in their voice when they getting that good
that
good note out. They probably take a deep breath and get that high pitch. Listen, they smoking on something.
For real.
They smoking on something. For real.
And you know what? There's always the stereotype, and I think
I don't give a fuck about the stereotypes no more. Like, if y'all soccer moms and hoes and Karens alike is gonna sit here and smoke all y'all want to, but still criminalize us for smoking.
Wait a minute.
Middle finger up
Speaking of,
and pipe up to my mouth, and I'm gonna continue to talk.
speaking of, I don't know if it was on your page, but I hollered. Because you have so much on your page. I'm coming on everything, but you gotta know that I'm on there looking at all your stories. So it was one thing that said the country is in $1 billion of debt. No, the billions of trillion dollars of debt, but you would yet give me a credit score. You know?
Yep.
You trying to put people, you trying to say people should loan me money and trust me, but what about the country?
You know what's some fuck ass shit? They only invented that shit in '89, the year I was born.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I didn't know that either. The FICO score, yeah, '89.
And this is more control.
Mm-hmm.
This is more underhanded bullshit.
Talk about it.
For real. Over it.
This is why I continue to say fuck capitalism.
Yeah. Capitalists are definitely opportunists. Some words are just synonymous. Some behaviors are just synonymous.
Y'all fine, girl. What?
No, I was just thinking about.
I know something came across your mind because the shimmer came.
No, it's funny. You're funny, and I'm gonna talk to you about. I want to talk to you about this so bad, but I was thinking. Hold on, don't let that happen.
Let it marinate.
Right. I was thinking about something. That happened in my past, and because you stopped me, I forgot what it was.
Oh my god!
I did that.
The momentum
but you can't
built.
stop me. But you can't stop me.
So what had happened in your past was back in St. Louis. What was you like as a kid?
What was I like as a kid? Totally different guy.
What's life like in St. Louis? What's black people like out there? Y'all got a historic black neighborhood, like
we do. I'm sure we do.
Yeah.
We'll take. We have.
Talk about
we
it.
have streets.
Talk about it now.
We have streets that you do not go. You do not go down those streets
unless you from there.
You hear me? Unless you have a residence in that.
Right. That's right.
Listen.
They like, who the fuck?
Shout out to Bacon. Shout out to James Cool, Papa Bill. Shout out to Listen. You gotta watch what street you drive down.
I know that's
you gotta watch. You hear me? Like Medea said, you gotta watch.
Yes.
So growing up in St. Louis wasn't like as a kid. It definitely had its bad points. You know, like people were literally trying to ride up to the house, and you know it was a gang war in front of the house. We driving through from church, got to go around the back way and sit and wait before we could go on the house because we lived on the corner. You know, but then, you know, there were those times where, you know, that place closed down and we were able to play outside a little bit as, you know, kids, you know, how you jumped over the, okay, y'all, one time I was burning paper. I got the worst whooping of my life that time outside in front of the damn house like an idiot. But yeah, so there were some fun times, but then they were very short-lived. Like, I was one of those kids where they said, you know, your mom said, when those lights come on, you better be in the house. I was one of them kids, trucking it down the street, trying to make sure I didn't, you know, go for the street lights came on. Listen, that was not a game, you know, so especially in St. Louis, because we actually had the Bloods and the Crips in St. Louis.
Nigga, they everywhere.
So listen, that was crazy, you know, and then yeah, so that's just the whole like safeness part of or the lack there was, you know. I don't know if I think crap probably has moved or migrated. It's not that it doesn't exist in like the neighborhood my mom is in, but we just still get people of color that are mentally stuck in the system. You know what I mean? So we get hood people moving into the neighborhood. Basically.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's everywhere, and that's the problem. Is that like this is the problem that we are trying to resolve is reconnecting these people, reactivating them, if you will. Even by just having these simple kind of discussions that we have it now, hopefully it's doing some reactivating. They like, oh well, what are they? What like? Okay, the stuff they talking about, like. I at least want people to be able to relate and then like start thinking on their own about this kind of stuff. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And that's really important. You know, they say if they were trying to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. You know what I mean? I think we need to read more as people. We need to have more conversations about more serious things than smoking weed, fucking a bitch, you know, killing somebody. We need to have some real conversations, some real positive vibes in our own community. You know, it was once the saying, you know, united we stand, but what? Divided we fall. You know, and I feel like we can be stronger as a community. We can be more supportive as a community, and not just the heterosexual community, but also anybody that's a part of the LGBTQIA community, making everybody feel it because we're right. Exactly. And what people don't understand too is that the LGBT community is fragmented in itself as well.
Very divisive.
You know, there's still people that are racist that are LGBTQIA. Let's talk about that.
A lot of smaller events like the one here in Lancaster, I don't feel comfortable going to because there's nothing there that makes me feel comfortable. It's more catered to like the mean girls and the pretty girls. And
well, guess what? This one didn't give two damns. I must have walked around that damn place, got what I needed off the tables. When I tell you I got a fat bag full of full of shit off the table called candy, bottles, t-shirts, pins. Listen, I got some everything from Pride. And then when I was done, I set my happy ass down till it was time to go.
I know that's right.
Shit, people forget, the agency that we have for making choices and decisions. You know what I mean? It's all about agency. It's not just the choice, but it's your agency. Your agency is another way for me of saying your prerogative. You know what I mean? You have the right to make a decision about your life. It's not always about the decision.
It's not always about the right. It's always about the will.
Right. But wait a minute though. So even if you have the will, you can have the will, but you have to know. You have to know that you have the will. You do.
Yes and no.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead. Let's talk about it.
Nope.
Let's talk about it.
Nope.
I'm sitting back, I'm riding back in my top, let you hit it.
Nah, little nigga, we gonna get up off this thing. It's like,
see, now he's thinking about the cliffhanger, and he ain't gonna be back on the show for another 2 months. So instead of him just talking about it now,
stop. You was on here 3 weeks
and
ago.
Let it get out.
You was on here 3
I'm
weeks ago.
forget what we talking about.
First of all, let's get it right, because you was on here 3 weeks ago, and we had a lot to discuss. And I've been trying to get you on here for the past week and a half. So I don't even want to hear it on that note. First of all, no, that was second of all. And third of all, you need to be on here more, but you don't come by. Fourth of all, it doesn't have to be in person all the time. We could do it through the waves of what is on the phone and shit. You just want to have to be here and get loosey goosey, which I get it, because we definitely like vibe out great in person, but it doesn't always have to be that way. So, as I was saying, what was that, 5 or 6?
This man really trying to read me, y'all.
I sure did, for filth, as it was. Where's it at? Boom! Drop the bomb on me. Yes, I am your DJ. Just call me DJ. DJ. Don't fuck with me.
You off the chain. I just said you had it. I think you had it. You gotta let people be great sometimes. You hear me?
Yo, for real, precisely. Like you gotta boost niggas up, but not too much. You don't want people to get their heads too full.
Right.
For real, for real. Well, homie, it's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on your show.
Of course, as always. Is there anything else that you wanted to like drop or talk about while we here? Like we got a couple of minutes.
If I could leave anybody with a piece of just knowledge, you know, be who you are, be proud of you, whether it's your size, whether it's your height, whether it's your orientation, whatever gender preference that you have, and if you choose not to have a gender, you know, be proud of who you are, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody thinks. And if somebody don't like you or love you, then find somewhere else to be. You don't need them. You need yourself and the people that's going to affirm who you are and you loving yourself.
That's right. Take heed, y'all. Take heed to what he said. And make sure you like and subscribe. Have a great night. Love y'all.